Welcome to League Queens.
I'm Coach Jane Forman from Team Forman Tennis and the Team Forman Experience.
And I'm Kim Wojnowich from Rallies and Rackets and also a lifelong rec league player myself.
Together, we bring you the coach and player perspective on everything from strategy and court drama
to the mental game, the wins, the losses, and of course, all the laughs in between.
This is
League Queens. Let's go. All right, welcome listeners. We are so excited. This is our first actual League Queens podcast. Welcome to our first episode, Game, Set, Drama. The League Queens take the mic. I'm Kim, one of your hosts. I'm a lifelong rec league player and owner of Rallies and Rackets, an online tennis boutique, and funny. Hopefully you follow us on Rallies and Rackets on Instagram, where we make fun of all the drama that happens in ladies league tennis. And I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Jane.
Hello there, I'm Jane Forman from Miami, Florida. I am the proud owner of the Team Forman Experience, and it's a tennis academy, just solely me, to empower the everyday player, you, and respecting and coaching hundreds to thousands of women just like you.
And having fun while you're doing it, because
I'm
with your sarcasm. If you don't follow Jane Forman of Team Forman Tennis and laugh at the way she coaches her amazing ladies league players that come out, then you are missing out. So as you can tell from the humor that on Rallies and Rackets Instagram and the humor that Jane provides for all the ladies that come see her, that's also what we love about being together and doing our podcast, is we love to laugh. So we're here to do that for you guys in an expanded way from what we started on our Instagram account a while ago. If you want to know more about how we got started and who we are and what we plan to do in League Queens, go back. Don't miss our intro episode. That is First Serve, What is League Queens? You can see that. And with that, let's get started with our first episode. What I thought is, after we, Jane and I have been together about 9 months doing lives on Rallies and Rackets. And for our first episode, I wanted to go back to where we originally started. One of the first questions that I asked you, Jane, we are going to talk mostly about strategy today, but one of the first questions I asked you today was, we talked about one of your Janeisms where you say, a simple shot becomes a winner because of your poor court position. Perfectly said in Jane speak. So that's what I want to talk about today. Tell us more about that, your poor court position.
I think I say that no less than 20 times every morning, no matter what level clinic, because I think the two most important things in learning how to play tennis and learning how to play doubles, learning how to play singles, is proper court position and shot selection. They go hand in hand. You can't hit a good shot, or you can't hit the best shot possible unless you're in proper court position. And you will hit the best shot you can if you're in the proper court position. So my saying is truly that I think so many points are lost because you're in the wrong court position. And like, for instance, something as simple as hitting to the net person and coming into net. So
right,
if you hit to the net person and you continue into the net and then you're stuck like in no man's land or in the middle of the court, then a person's going to be volleying down a crappy little volley. A shitty little volley is going to be a winner. So now you're in the bad court position. Somebody's hitting just an average shot. That shot becomes a winner. So that's where that comes from.
Right. Makes sense. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this podcast, is all of the so many different types of court positions, so many different strategies, that we don't have to be pro players to do your hand signals, to up level your game, to be able to know where to be to improve your game. And so many ladies are practicing so hard, just, your skills and drills, which is great. We need that too. But if you don't know where to be, that forehand is not going to help you. It's not going to help you.
So there's a time to practice your skills, and then there's a time to learn how to play the game. Both
are important.
Both are very important. Obviously, you can't hit the ball properly from the right area in the court unless you have some proper strokes. So there's a balance. There's a balance in learning how to play the game, to the strategy of the game, to the mental aspect of the game, to the competition of league play. So the balance is putting all that together. So when I do a clinic, a strategy clinic, which I predominantly do, I am teaching, I am trying to empower the players on the court. And I promise you that I'm empowering the players on the court from level 2-5 to 4-5. This morning, I had a 2-5 level clinic through a 4-5 level clinic. And there's obviously, it's all relative to the level of play, but my language and how I approach the clinic is not too different. And I am trying to prepare my lower level players so that when they do improve, that it's not going to be foreign for them to learn how to play the game. And that's how they become better quicker.
So one thing you and I talked about when it comes to exactly what you're saying is being proactive versus being reactive. And so many of us are reactive because we feel like I just need to play it safe. I just need to get the ball over the net and keep that ball in play.
Well,
And
it's
sometimes
funny
there's a
that you
time
say
for that.
Yeah. I mean, there's times to play defensive and times to play offensive, but I use those two words like I drink water, like you're drinking water right now. I use those two words all day long in my clinics, proactive versus reactive. And when all these women that are flying to Miami, and when I fly to them and teaching them, I ask them the same questions in the beginning of the clinic when I first meet them. I go, do you find yourselves aggressive after I see them hit a little bit and they think they're really aggressive and they're like, oh, I love to come to net. I love to come to net. Yeah, no. You're gonna love us. We come in. We come in
We
all the
do
time.
it. We do
We
what you
do it. We
say.
does it. So then I go, okay, great. Great. This is gonna be fun. So then I go, let's develop a point. You show me how you play a point, how you develop a point so I can learn. And not one of them has taken one shot and approached the net. Okay, I go around the court and I feed the ball to all four of them at different times, and not one of them has proactively taken the first shot and come to net. And so then I say, okay. And then we kind of come together, and I said, well, you told me you were really aggressive. And I said, tell me when you think the proper time to come to net is. And they're like, well, when I hit it really deep, or when they hit it short to me, or when the other team is struggling. And I kind of hear the same thing amongst all the groups. And I very rarely hear them say, when I do this or when my partner does this.
Right. So everyone's waiting for the other team to do the thing
Right.
that you're like,
That's gonna
okay,
bring them
now
that
I'll
they
go
think
in.
that think they can come to net. So they're, as in their minds, they're thinking they're aggressive because they're looking for a short ball. Some coaches, and I try not to trash them too much, but I'm like horrified at some of the stuff that I hear that groups come. Coaches tell players, wait for your invitation to come to net.
I was going to say the number one thing I think most of us have heard
And
our adult life is, and I had a partner
I've
tell it to me
never,
the other
yeah,
day, come when you're invited. It is
yeah,
such a common phrase that we've all been taught.
yeah.
Come when you're invited.
And then,
What if I set up the invitation?
yeah, that's basically, if we want to turn it around. So that's horrifying to me because it's not empowering your side of the court. So to empower your side of the court, I try to instill this mentality, and it's a switching of the brain when they first come, and then we do it over and over again. That starts to become a little bit more normalized. Is control the things you can control, and don't try to control the things you can't. We can't control if
Yeah.
somebody hits. We can't control if somebody hits a winner. We can control when we decide to go into net. We can control how we're going to move into the proper court position. We can control the type of shot we want to try.
Yeah.
We can't control when they actually go to hit the ball. We can't control what type of shot they're going to hit. We can anticipate it, but we can't control it. So when we empower ourselves with that and release ourselves of the burden of worrying about their hit, then the control becomes on your side.
Right. I love it. So we think about turning that waiting for an invitation. Let's throw the party.
Right.
I don't want to wait for you to invite me to the
No.
party. I want to host the party. So
So
let's
here's
turn it around.
so here's how simple it gets, okay? And here's the strategy for today. When you say you're aggressive, or if you want to learn how to become more aggressive and you want to take control, I simply tell them this. When you hit the ball away from the net person, you can come to net. If you ever hit the ball to the net person, you can't come to net because they're going to be hitting down on you. So never, ever go into net if you hit the ball to the net person for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. If you hit the ball away from the net person, then you're able to come forward and start to take control on your side of the court with your
Right.
partner. That's the start. That's the start of taking control. Now, how the women perceive this, what I'm telling them, is mind-boggling to me, because I don't think I can be more direct than I am in how I speak to the women. I mean, maybe too direct, but I tell them this exact thing that I'm telling you right now. Hit the ball away from the net person. That's your chance to get to net. So then about 15 minutes later, we're playing, and I go, why are, they're hitting the ball on anything. They're hitting the ball to the net player. They're hitting the ball ever, and they're coming in. And I go, and then they're even serving and volleying. And I go, why are you doing that? And they go, well, you said come in on everything. And I go, I never said that. So what they actually perceive for what I'm saying and
Right.
what they hear. So it's a process to get this into everybody's head, especially at maybe lower levels when they're learning this for the first time, to understand this. This type of mentality and this type of strategy of taking control on each side of the court can be done from levels 2-5 all the way up. All the way up. It's maybe easier on a higher level, but it can be done.
Right.
And the earlier you start to implement it, and the earlier you start to learn this, the quicker you're going to get better. Now, yeah, go ahead, ask.
For lower levels, and for a lot of us, no matter what our level is, because it depends on how the person's returning the ball. If we play at a higher level, but they have wicked spin, which happened to me recently, you don't have as much control over where you're hitting the ball as if when someone hits you your favorite forehand and you're like, I can put that anywhere I want all day long. So some of it too is knowing not just come in when I do this, but knowing what to expect when you do hit it to the net person. Okay, so I didn't do what I was planning. I was planning on not hitting it to the next person, but damn it, I just did. So then knowing, okay, then stay back.
Here's another saying. Here's another Jainism, okay? React to the reality of the shot, not what to your intention is.
Right.
So everybody has good intentions, and as we say here in Miami in my clinics, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So everybody has wonderful intentions.
Yeah.
But you have to learn to
We'd
react
all
to
be
the reality.
professionals if our intentions were always spot on.
And even
we are not.
then. So you have to develop your instincts. And my first instinct that I want to try to instill on my players so they can learn this is, if there's a half a court open, which is away from the net person, if there's a half a court open, you can come and take the net. Now we have two people up at net, and then they're on the opposing side is going to be one up, one back. That's the worst position to be in when there are two people on the other side up at net, because there's a vulnerable person up at net that we're going to target. And to me, that's doubles. 2 in, 2 win. 2 in, 2 win. And I want to get out of everybody's head here in this first episode. I'm going to play back and you cover the front. And I'm going to set you up and you try to put the ball away.
And then you do all the work. Right.
And then you put the ball away. I'll be back here. I'm going to cover here. I hate that. I go, don't talk to me if you're telling.
You
Don't.
can start like that, but that's
Well,
not the
yeah,
only move. You
that's not how
start
we're
like that.
starting that. We're not gonna end up like that. We're
We're
gonna
not gonna
end
end
up.
up.
We're gonna end up to win, to win. So that's what this is. Now, to add to that, so good. We got you coming in right off the first bat, right? Right off the first hit. So the next question I ask is, what's the optimum shot? After you've hit what's the optimum shot? And they go deep. And I go, no, that's not the optimum shot. Most coaches say, hit the ball deep, hit the ball deep. Well,
Yeah.
you know that if you hit the ball deep, the ball's coming back high and deep, and you're going to get lobbed. So the second empowerment of taking control is short and angled. If you hit the ball at the little tees, if you hit the ball short and angled, you're going to make your opponent who just served get her rear end, get her ass up off the baseline, run up, pop up the ball to you. You're going to empower your partner with moving into the net. You are coming in staggered behind her to handle just in case a lob.
Just in case.
Now you are hitting down on your opponents every time on the first shot. That's how you take control. If you hit the ball deep, you still can come in, but your partner may not be able to close in too close, and you may get a lob. You're not going to be able to maybe get in so close, but you can still hit the ball in the air, and you can still hit
Right.
down on your opponents and build the point. That's how you take control on the receiving side.
So one thing to think about when you guys are listening to Jane is, yes, these are the moves and the places that you want to be. But when it comes to going back and you do take your lessons and you do work on skills and drills, then don't forget these are the skills to practice. Your volleys, your short angle shots. Don't just go hit baseline to baseline and keep working on your forehand and only work on
So
your backhand. Work on these shots.
that's a great point. These are the things you need to work on the receiving side on both sides, because I can tell you on the serving side how to do the same exact thing. As a return to serve and you hit your return cross court away from the net person, or even a lob over the net person, away from the net person, and you're coming in, these are the things to work on. Your return to serve, short and angled.
Mm-hmm.
Your split step, which no one practices.
Oof, the split step is everything.
No one split steps. Not one of my ladies split steps.
We just run through it.
They look like this, and they look like they're stopping. They don't even stop. They come in. I always
You
tell
just
them
run through it.
They look like, here in Florida we have the Bright Line. They look like the Amtrak. They look like a train without brakes running through it, and they're trying to go from the baseline to their nips at the net. Okay, that's not when I want your nips at the net. Okay, is when from the baseline.
Nips.
You have you have to transition like a pitch.
Right.
You have to transition from the middle of the court with a little split, with the breaking of the stride, and you have to hit a first volley or a little half volley, something that's going to transition to you to the
That
next
sets
shot.
you up for the way. So I think
Yes.
that's another big mistake, ladies league players. We think the volley is the winner. A lot of times it takes 2 or 3 volleys for you to get to the winner, but we think that one is to be the put away.
No.
That one is to set you up for the next
Perfect.
one. And I think that's
the middle of the court is not where you should be going for winners.
And you
should
can't get from,
yeah.
right, like you're saying, the baseline to the net
Right.
all in one play. You have to get there. So I love that transition shot, and then you go into the winner. We want it to happen fast.
And maybe my ideal play is a return to serve, come into net, split. My partner now is targeting the ball, okay, wherever it is, bursting in, like I say, like the Florida sunshine, bursting in, looking for that next shot. If they can get that next shot, that could be the winner, because they're closer to the net. The closer you are to the net, the more you can go for a winner. But you coming in from the baseline, you're not going to get close to the net yet. Okay,
right. So setting them up is not just you standing on the baseline setting them up. Setting them up is you also making some moves that set them up.
Yeah, so working on these skills
Yeah.
will help develop that style play. It's really important. It's really important to note that this this happens on on the serving side as well. And I got to tell you how within one shot. Most league players, I'm going to say at all levels, from 2-5 to 4-5, all levels, most league players do not come into net off of their return to serve right off the bat.
Mhm.
They're like, ah, I'm gonna feel it out. I'm gonna hit my return. I'm gonna, just see how they wait 2 shots. And I'm gonna tell you that every shot that you wait to come in that you've hit away from the net player is a lost opportunity to take control, because you're going to come across that team that is equally as strong as you or better than you. And how are you going to beat them? How are you going to beat them? So, lost opportunities equal lost matches. So, on the service side, knowing this, you need to recognize, you and your partner, that the return to server is not coming into net off the return. Should be a breath of fresh air for you as their serving team. Then you should go, okay, this is great. So I am going to serve the ball. I'm just going to wait 1 shot, hit the ball away from the net person,
Mhm.
then come in. Now I'm in with my partner on the serving side, and the receiving side has 1 up, 1 back, just like it was on the receiving side.
Right, because you know they're not coming in. They've
Because
shown you
they're
they're
not
not
coming
coming
in.
in.
And if they are coming in, which is rare, then you can adjust. You can learn how to serve and volley so you can get in first. You can, if you have to, I don't really want you to back up too soon, but there's things to do where you don't have to give up the aggression of the court before you go into defense.
I love it. So I think one is having the confidence to try this. We know confidence comes from experience, and we do want to talk confidence a lot in this podcast, that mental, but having the confidence to actually do this in a match is just it's going to take time, and you have to just at some point start practicing it. And that leads into another thing is partner communication, and it also leads to partner responses, because you're going to be more apt to be aggressive and try these things if your partner is going to say, I want you guys to think about this as the partner. Are you the partner who's going to be like, that was an awesome try. It didn't work the first time, but you do it again, Susie, because it was the right move? Or are you the partner who's going to be like, why'd you do that? Don't do that. It's not going to work. They're
Or
never
are
going to
you
try it again.
I no, the eye rolling. Are
Are you
you
going to
going to
roll
be
your
the
eyes when they,
I think that's my number one, first of all, not to deviate too much, but that's my number one pet peeve when I'm watching my players play, and the poor body language from the partner who didn't make the error, but the other partner, like for instance, the partner who's back on the baseline hits a shitty shot up to the net person.
oh, right.
The net person nails me,
Yeah.
okay? And then goes, "What the hell's wrong with you?" Rolls her eyes, or
Why didn't you get that? Why didn't you
what
get that?
happened there? Yeah. So, are you that partner? But you're 100% correct about confidence and about having the gumption. We talked about earlier that you can't buy confidence. You have to earn it. And this is the way to earn it. It starts by learning it in the clinic. It
Hmm.
then goes to trying it in your friendly matches. Who cares if you lose those? That's a perfect arena to practice these things.
It
And
is.
then the third way is in a league match. And when you're actually in the match and you start to do this, give yourself maybe baby steps if you don't feel it yet. Say, okay, I'm going to do it once a game.
That's right.
Once a game. Once a game. And then that once a game is going to turn into, oh, geez, oh, shit, look, I'm like, I just won 2 points doing
I
this.
just did it. Yeah.
It's going
That's
to
right.
turn into 2, 3, and then you're going to gain. Now, right just in there, that's confidence. That's
That's right.
confidence into doing it almost every single time. And then you'll carry yourself different. You'll be feared different because now you're playing to win and not to not lose. And you will be carrying yourself as a whole different player.
I love it. So, a couple things that you guys can think about in terms of goals from listening to our podcast is learning, obviously, new moves and new strategies and new court placement, but then building your confidence to actually try them. And then I think thinking about what kind of partner do you want to be? Because listen, we've all had those moments of where we're tense in the match and we're like, oh, and we can all improve on being a better partner, but that partnership makes a big difference in whether you're willing to try
It's
it. So
huge.
be a partner that encourages your partner to try this stuff, or else you're both just going to be playing a safe game and you're not going to win. It's not going to help.
Also, if you're playing with someone who doesn't have the knowledge or doesn't have the gumption or is unwilling to do some of these things that you've learned, I get that question all the time.
That makes it harder.
She doesn't want to make adjustments. She doesn't want to, she doesn't change. She doesn't do this. She doesn't do that. Okay. Don't be a coach. Don't try to change her. Don't try to teach her in the middle of the match. You're you do what you can do. This is another aspect of control the things you can
Yeah.
control, which
Yeah.
you can control yourself. You can't control your partner's level of strategic knowledge or
Right.
wanting to be strategic, but you can control your own. So you do as much as you can. Will your partnership be as strong? No. Does it mean that you're going to automatically lose? No,
No.
but you can do the best you can do, and then maybe you can find that perfect partnership where you're willing to do this together.
Yeah, I love it. But I think partner communication will be something that we can also talk about
Yeah.
and improve, help everybody improve. We're all going to have those moments where we are a sucky partner and we get mad, but we can all learn how to be a better partner and how to communicate in a better way to our partners.
You mean like
So,
throwing your racket when your partner makes an error? That's not like a good way to communicate.
not so good. Or the eye rolling.
I hate that. I hate that. I'm like, who the hell does she think she is? You know, who does she think she is? Does she think she never makes an error? I
Many of them do.
yeah.
Many of them. Yes, that's exactly right. That's who she
Yeah.
thinks she is. And I
Sorry, before I forget, as a coach, okay, a coach and a captain, and I have to talk to all the players at nauseum after the matches. How was it? Was it good? Da da da. All this sort of stuff. And did you do this together? Did you do that or whatever? When I really want to find out about a partnership, I always ask them, how did it go? I ask them individually. I don't ask them together because I want to hear how they react to each other,
Mhm.
and especially if it's a new partnership. I always I always know who is going to 100% blame their partner,
You
and
already know.
I always know who is never ever gonna ever say one bad thing about their partner and only talk about themselves as what they could have done,
Right.
what they did well. And to me, that's telltelling because that's huge.
That's absolutely.
Because the one who always throws the partner under the bus, oh my God, she couldn't serve today. Oh my God, she did this. She wouldn't change anything. Oh my God, that person has zero self awareness.
Yeah,
And so that empowers me to know who to put her with.
absolutely. So we're going to talk a lot about that. Guys, we're going to make you a better partner. Listen to our
I,
podcast. We're going to make
yeah,
you a better player. We're going to make you a better partner. Because
sounds
that
great.
is so, so, so important. Be the person that your captains want to put in the lineup. Because then you're
Yeah,
not getting as many matches and you can't figure out why. We know why. You don't know why, you don't know.
that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be a topic.
I
That's
think
going to be a
basically,
topic.
I think basically anything we discuss is a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, like
Anything we can mention.
every point is like its own individual podcast. So listen, I want to keep this at like 30 minutes. I think this is a great starter to give you guys some things to think about. So how you don't make your shot, your poor court position a winner over nothing. You got to start getting better. We're going to help you get better. So re-listen to this and jot some notes down of things that like one or two things that you are going to start trying. And
And
go ahead.
here it is, be proactive, not reactive.
Be proactive, not reactive. That's the statement of the day. So listen, if you loved this, share our new podcast with your friends, with your teams. You're all on a team, so they all need to know what you're listening to. And if you are any woman who lives for league tennis, then you're going to love our podcast. We have so much to share. We're going to have the best time. And also keep sending us your questions, because we're going to do just like we did on our live videos on Rallies and Rackets. Those will be the things that we talk about. Send us your stories, because we're also going to have fun with drama, but we want to talk about your stories. What's happening out there on the courts for you ladies? We know it's crazy, so share it with us. We want to hear it.
Hey, in Miami, they call a gossip or drama chisme.
The chisme?
Chisme.
Okay.
Right?
Around here, we call it the tea. So we want your chisme tea, so we can have some fun with that. So thanks for listening to our very first episode, and we'll see you next time. League Queens, don't miss it.